What is up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Camera Junkie live stream. My name's Luis, also known as Mr. Camera Junkie, where I always remind you to upgrade your skills before your gear. And if it's your first time here, then welcome to the live stream. Please be sure to introduce yourself in the chat so you can get the nice Camera Junkie crew welcome. And as tradition goes around here, the first thing that we always do is to go ahead and check out who are the first members of the Camera Junkie crew who are in chat. So let's go ahead and do that and move to the comments screen. And let's scroll up. First one we got in here is Ernesto saying, hello, happy Saturday, drinking some soda on the rocks. Well, you know me, I got my mixture of the Monster Juice and just water. My two main consumptions or fluids of consumption. We also have Mr. Moderator Paul Duncan in the house saying what's up to the fam. Also, we have Parker Jennings, as always. Thank you for taking the time and hanging out here. Everybody's saying what's up. This guy's in here as well, Mr. Camera Junkie. He's saying that the audio is good today. If you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say. If not, check out episode 200. We also have Yolanda in here hanging out, saying hello to everyone. Thank you for hanging out. And Paul saying what's up to Yolanda. And now for a bit of housekeeping. First thing is, if you haven't done so already and you're looking to figure out how it is that I got such an amazing colored pop filter on such an amazing microphone that doesn't only make me look good, but sound just as good, just the same, please be sure to visit my friend Doc Rock over here to get his Doc Pops, which are his branded pop filters for a variety of different microphones. And if you don't have the microphone exactly that is available, hit me up as a question. Say, hey, you know what, I have this microphone and I could maybe lead you to know which one of the pop filters that he has could apply for your system, because a lot of people have the MV7s from Shure, and even though he has that available, if you have a similar type clone microphone for the MV7 or a clone for the SM7B, then there's pop filters that will also be available there for you. So go ahead and check that out. I'm still saying the final days of pre-sale. I tell him every single week that the pre-sale has been over, except that he still hasn't changed the prices on the website. So if you haven't done so, take advantage now, because those prices eventually will go back to normal prices, probably after Creator Camp, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Now, next thing is, if you're looking to enhance your video editing skills using Final Cut Pro, I suggest that you take a look at the course over here held by my friend Rafael Ludwig. He's an amazing content creator on the platform. I've highlighted him and his channel on Cities God before, but this is a link directly to the course. So if you're looking to, get the ins and outs and learn to be an efficient editor in just about a couple of weeks, go ahead and check out the enhanced editing course by my friend Rafael Ludwig. And last but not least is, if you're wondering how is it that he's bringing these comments onto the screen and changing from scene to scene and having everything flow and work so effortlessly and smoothly, is because of this amazing program called the Ecamm that I use to do everything, whether it's my live stream, my pre-recorded content, or if I'm doing a presentation on Zoom. Anything that I need this program to do is all built in here. Been asking for a while to take the live out of the name, because it's so much more than just a live streaming platform. It's Ecamm Live. It's what I use to do pretty much everything when it comes to my production, including my remote production work that I do for Ecamm itself, producing the Flow podcast. And there we have it. So now let's get back to the show and start talking and see what's going on in the chat real quick before I get on my soliloquy about preparing for Ecamm's Creator Camp. All right, we got Gretchen sneaking in here saying happy Saturday to myself and to Aiden. Paul's dropping the links here. We have the Daily Man, Carlos in the house saying hello to the Beard Master. Second week catching you. Thank you, man. I appreciate you hanging out. It's always good to, see you in the chat, especially, knowing everything that you do. And I hope all is well with you and your wife. That is true. You know what? The SM7B pop fits the MV7 too, and that just depends on exactly how you want to have it, because you could just add some extension to that. Very similar to the microphone that I've created. So let me just grab it. As an example, I made this microphone out of a Shure capsule, and I wanted to do exactly that, have the, like legendary SM7B pop filter. So I basically created just like a small little foam around it that will be able to hold this pop filter, and seeming that this is the same capsule that can be found in the SM7B minus the electronics to make it sound as creamy, as good as it does. But this is a very substantial, like adequate microphone that I was able to make by just connecting the capsule directly to the line. So no electronics whatsoever. This is as analog as it gets. But as you can see, the capsule being in that position, the SM7B has the same similar type capsule that you'd be able to take this and just pop it right over and get that same type of look, but also the quality of the pop filters on a non-SM7B microphone. So go ahead and check it out, especially now that things are, still available at a discount. Excuse me, just trying to clear my throat here. Hey, we got Sly in the house saying hi to myself, to Aiden, and to the fellow camera junkies. Hope everyone is having a great weekend. So glad to see you here. I saw that you had a live stream on Tuesday. You just snuck it in there, and I've been waiting on Fridays, but it looks like you did it a bit early in the week. But good to see that you're still creating content, and I'm gonna have to catch the replay. There's been a busy week. Paul saying hi to Sly and to Carlos. And he's also reminding you and myself to remind you to hit that thumbs up button, because I tend to forget to do that. So if you haven't done so already, please be sure to do it so we can just get that out of the way before we start going on our stuff. Now, talking about that, last week I gave you a glimpse of what I did with my camera rig. Now, my camera rig is exactly what I'm taking to camp. So that's kind of like my one and done. Hey, what's up, Melanie? Sneaking in here saying what's up. How are you? Thank you for taking the time and hanging out. I'm going to be swinging by the Orlando area pretty soon. So I'm going to be in, I should be in Orlando on the 11th. Yeah, so I'm gonna be in that area. I don't know if you'd be available, maybe to do maybe get some lunch or something, so that we could actually meet in person for the first time, because I know you're within that area. But I'm going to be starting my road trip to Creator Camp, and that starts on the 11th, which is Friday. Yep. And my plans are to actually be already in Amesbury by Monday the 14th, and the festivities start on Tuesday the 15th. So is like rocking and rolling. I'm super excited because it's kind of sneaking up on me just the same way. It's like the way that episode 200 snuck up on me last week. Dude. That's right. Paul had mentioned this to me, that there's another hurricane coming through, and apparently right through that area. That's right. I just might have to bypass Orlando altogether and just, stay on the highway, so to speak, depending on how bad it might be, even though we're hoping the best for all outcomes, But that is true. And that, FYI, is going to be passing through the center of Florida apparently on Wednesday. So I pick up my rental on Thursday and I start driving on Friday. So that is the plan. So, but hopefully everything is fine by, let's just say that we're hoping for the best, expecting maybe the worst, but hoping for the best. So, but yes. Okay. So Melanie says she hits a thumbs up before you even start watching. Well, thank you. That's much appreciated. I don't like to ask right away, even when I make my content, because it kind of bugs me when I see that from a content creator that I've just started watching. I'm like, I don't even know you, and you're already like asking me to subscribe. Like, I don't even know if I would end up liking your content, right? So give me a chance. And that's how I feel towards it. And that's why I always tend to not ask at first, but it usually leads to me forgetting to ask at all. So it's always appreciated. But now, I was saying that last week I went through my camera rig, and that's my overdone camera rig, so to speak. It's my all-in-one setup. I put some thought into it so that I don't have to carry any other video camera, so that I don't have to be switching lenses. It's not the best at anything, but it's pretty much very, very good at just about everything, right? It's not the best in low light, but it's very adequate in low light at f2.8. It's also got a substantial amount of zoom range from like 25 to 105. So I have a lot of room at that f2.8 so that I don't have to be changing lenses. And depending on how the environment changes in a run and gun setup, I'll be able to adjust to it. I also put an ND filter on top of it so that if it's too bright outside with that and I still want to keep that shallow depth of field, I still have control over exposure. I put a follow focus system on it, but instead of using it to focus, because these cameras have such amazing autofocus, that I'm gonna allow the camera to do that. And then I just put the focus ring, which, by the way, I got this really cool packet. I'm gonna show it to you guys, or show you some of it, from Newer, right? The Newer brand. And it's just a bunch of different sized rings, right? And these are the rubber rings that you can put around lenses so that you could attach them and start using them on the follow focus system. So these rings, instead of putting it on the actual focus side, I put it on the zoom side. So now my follow focus controls my zoom pitch without me having to, like change my hands or the way that I have it set up to actually utilize the zoom on that setup. I put wireless microphones if I want to go wireless, but then I also have a nice, shotgun microphone for like in front or kind of behind the camera content. I also put a big battery on this whole thing to power everything. And the little cherry on top was that I was still able to rig my Insta360 X3 camera onto it so that it could give me a bit of aspect of kind of 360, but more of a behind the scenes recording option that I have with me. So instead of, like I did last year, to have a camera with me and then have the 360 camera in a different position and then have, another camera or a variety of different things to kind of not be able to handle it or have situational equipment, right? That if I did go into the low light, I would have to change lenses, which takes time, and then takes time to like go back to your camera bag and then like actually look for the lens, then put away the lens that you were just using appropriately. So a lot of these little things that just tend to shave or consume a lot of time, I'm now able to shave that time off because I pre-built my camera setup like that. But there's also a lot of other things that are maybe not as sexy that I also have to put thought into. And that's what brings me to the next thing that I'm going to show you, which is my newest tripod. Now, I'm a big fan of cabron fiber, right? So last year, I bought me a small compact travel tripod, and I absolutely love it. I have it here to my side, and it's been my go-to tripod since I got it. But I did extend and basically put everything onto this camera rig, and that camera rig that's sitting in the back, where is it? It's over here. And this all-in-one setup right here that I got for Creator Camp is basically at 10 pounds. It's at 9 pounds, 0.9, right? So it's just a tenth shy of 10 pounds. And the thing is that my carbon fiber tripod that was designed to be lightweight and travel really doesn't have the strength to hold all of this weight. So one of the unsexy pieces of equipment that you usually don't talk about but is very vital is a tripod, and I got my hands on a new small rig. Now, the first thing that I was gonna do with my tripod to get ready for camp was I was actually just gonna buy the fluid head, right? And I was gonna take the fluid head and replace it on my already previously purchased tripod because I did not want to have another piece of gear, right? But unfortunately, this was actually less expensive than just buying a ball head to replace on my lesser tripod. And it became very interesting because this has a bunch of features that are leagues above my previous tripod. Now, that's a travel tripod, so I'm not taking anything away from it, but it does have the limitation. Now, this has a fluid head on top of it so that it can hold the weight. So I think it's rated up to like 17 pounds, which means that I will be able to mount my camera and feel secure that the money that I've invested on my camera is not just gonna be knocked over by the wind, right? So if I decide to, or in the case that I need to use a tripod, I have this one. And the thing is that the fluid head that I was looking at to replace on my other tripod cost more than this entire setup because it was just on a really good deal. So as you can see, this is a full size, but it is still carbon fiber tripod. I'm starting to get a little warm. I'm gonna switch up. Actually, you know what? That's another note. I got a new AC system. I'm really happy with it. It's working well and it's super quiet, even to the point where I could shut down crisp and it still sounds pretty good at my place now. It's like night and day. So all the issues that I used to have kind of don't have them anymore, which helps because now it's less that crisp has to kind of clean up with my audio. So, but I digress. We're gonna go back to it. So I was looking for the ball head replacement, and then this came on the Amazon listing. It was on sale, so it is a $200 tripod with the fluid head, but it was like at $130, and I got a $20 coupon, so I got this for like $110, which was like a steal. So the biggest thing for me, right, and that I'm gonna show you right now, actually, disconnect this, is that it has a bowl design. So most tripods, right, at the head, you have the ability to like change it because it has a thread on it, and if you de-thread the ball head or anything that you have on top of the tripod, you'll then have the ability to replace it with your heart's content, with whatever you want. But this is a different style of tripod, and this is more for the video side. So I'll be able to set it up wherever I like. And one of the main things is that it has this like kind of stabilizer in the center of it that we see here, right? So that stabilizer's got this strap so that if I want to pick up the tripod, I just lift it and it kind of lifts all the legs, closes them down, making it very convenient. But most importantly is that it has that system. So if I were to, you know, kind of lefty loosen the bottom, you can see that the head itself floats in this kind of bowl system, right? And you're able to position it. So no matter where the tripod is placed, I will then be able to use the spirit level or the bubble level that's right here. There we go, it's showing, right? Set it to the correct pitch and then tighten. And now even if the legs are not at the perfect pitch, the head itself would then be level, giving you complete control to be able to adjust and move it around. And because it's a fluid head, it's gonna make every like all the pans and tilts very like smooth and nice. And like I said, I got it for $110. It was basically a no-brainer. And not that I like to always get new gear, but this was something that was needed for my new setup because, oh, excuse me, I did not want to risk my camera to a lesser tripod, risk all of this amazing gear to a gust of wind. And that's basically what it came down to. So I ended up getting this piece of gear, and like I said, not as sexy, but sexy enough because the Cabron fiber, man, it makes it look super good, and it matches with pretty much everything else that I've already put it on my kit that also carbon fiber. So that's one of the things that I'll be taking to Creator Camp as far as that goes. But I have packed all the things that I, am gonna take for myself. So, like all the toiletries and things like that, that's all packed. And then I just got the last piece of extra stuff that is only available for the people who are going to be campers for Ecamm's Creator Camp. So for the campers, you're either put into a cabin, right, with your cabin leader. Well, when you into these cabins, you'll have a designated color for your group. And that's cool and all, but as I'm I'm staff, I'm working the event, right? That's why I'm going to be recording everything behind the scenes, so on and so forth. I get the magic black color for staff. So I got my Creator Camp t-shirts. Those are already in, right? And then with my name on the back, bam, so nobody can get confused. So I got 4 of these for myself so that I made sure that I had one for all the days of the camp. So my wardrobe is pretty much locked in, but also it all depends on the weather, right? Because it tends to get a bit chilly over there in Amesbury, especially this time of the year. Get some water here. So much going on right now. Right? So depending on the weather, I was able to pick up exclusive merch for the campers. And I picked up this Hi from Creator Camp shirt. It's a long sleeve to keep me nice and warm, just in case. And my Creator Camp joggers. Bam. Special edition. Now, the cool thing is that Ecamm also uses fourth wall like I do for my merch. So this is also another way for me to test the quality. And it looks like I might be adding some joggers to the Camera Junkie crew catalog because they feel great, and the texture that I'm getting off of the print, top notch. Very, very happy. Last but not least is this. Now, this is the Creator Camp TV pint glass. Now, I'm ex-bartender. I love pint glasses. I think it's just the perfect size for so many different things. But throughout the years, I've been picking up quite a few of the Ecamm merch, and I always end up gravitating towards the pint glasses. Now, in the back over there, I have quite a few from quite a few different brands and quite few different variations of the pint glasses that we have had from different events and different shows from Ecamm, so on and so forth. But unfortunately, they never held up to the test of time. After some times of just washing it over and over again, the letters and the stuff that's on it would just tend to come off through a variety of different methods of washing them. And I have not washed this the same, and yet I could already tell you that hands down this is the highest quality print that I've seen on glass that's not etched in there as like laser etched that I have seen to date. This is like it feels like a laminated sticker on top of it, and it's impressive because it almost feels like, and I'm not trying to insult, but it almost feels like a blind person will be able to read this, because there's that it's like a puff, right? It sticks out, and even the letters themselves, you can tell the difference of the layers. Did I say that correctly? Yeah, the layers of ink that are placed on top of each other. And one of the really cool things is that if you look in the back, right, they start with a white base. So if you know about, like printing and things like that, to get the colors, you're always going to start with white, because anything less than that, you're not going to get the pop of colors. And to really realize, like, I'm looking at the quality, I'm like, oh my god, I am now thinking about making some designs on some pint glasses as well, just because they look so good. And with fourth wall, you have the ability to do that as well. So this is the last tidbits that I'm gonna be like putting into my suitcase, getting ready for creator camp. I don't know if I'm gonna be rocking the pint glass, if that's gonna be necessary for the trip, but I do have it here, so I might just leave it here for, like safekeeping. That's the word. Have it here for safekeeping. Keep it safe here, and then the rest of the stuff I'm gonna be taking with me. So I'm really excited for that. But to get back to this so that I don't forget it, these are the newer like little just like rubber rings for this same exact follow focus setup. Right, as you can see, I already have one there on the lens, and that was really cool to kind of finish my setup. But now, as far as my plans, well, to bring it full circle, I have a little bit of bad news, which is that I did have plans to stop in Peachtree City, and I was going to be picking up a friend, content creator, fellow camper of the original creator camp last year, Aubrey, also known as Simply Obs on the interwebs. And I was going to be picking her up, and we were going to be road tripping together. So I was going to take the trek from Miami to Peachtree, grab her, and then do the rest of the trek on the road trip over to Amesbury, road tripping, and do kind of the reverse on the way back. Well, it's unfortunate that she let me know that her house is going to be selling during the same exact week of the Ecamm's creator camp, and for this reason she's not going to be able to make it due to packing and moving and the final sales and all this stuff and all the craziness of selling and moving from a house. So it's unfortunate. We're bummed out as the crew, and just saying it out loud here as well, Aubrey, you're going to be missed. But it really kind of threw a bit of a wrench, because I was really excited for like the added companion onto the trip, because it's a lot of miles, and it's usually just me, but it'll just give me some more time to hear my books on audio that I have from Audible. And I have quite a few. I think I have like 12 that I still haven't heard, so I have plenty of time to go through them at like 2x, so on and so forth. But I'll be consuming a lot of that information just before camp. But speaking about that, going back to what Melody had mentioned before, there is a hurricane that's coming through the state of Florida, so I do have to be cognizant of that at the moment, right? But seeming that all gets taken care of, my plans is to leave on Friday. So Friday I'll be starting my trek. What time exactly, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna make sure that I am well rested, right? Well rested, so I won't have any issues when it comes to making this trip. Now, the way that I have planned, right, seeming that I'm traveling with my son Aiden, and that he basically can't take a plane, I set it up where I actually stop every 3 hours. So my plans are to leave South Florida, drive for 3 hours, and take my first break. Then I'll take that break and just refuel, take care of Aiden, and then hit the road again and do another 3 hour trip, and then take the break, do everything, refuel ourselves, so on and so forth. And the plan is that it's 1,500 miles each way. So if I have 4 days, and that's the plan to actually break it down, I've mentioned this before. It's basically 750 miles at the half, and then you cut down in by half, and then you're looking at 375 miles, I believe. So if you can do 375 miles of distance per day, then it really doesn't matter how much time. And believe it or not, you can knock out quite a few miles in just a couple of 3 hour stints during the day. So it gives me time to relax and do everything with time and never feel rushed. So if everything goes well, right, and there's no major delays, whether it be from hurricanes or just blatant traffic that you can find anywhere throughout that trip, I'm planning to be there either late Sunday or early Monday. And I check into the hotel on Monday, and that's when everything gets started, especially for me. There's gonna be just that day and Tuesday, which is gonna be like kind of the BTS of the event itself. So even though I'm there hanging out, I'm gonna already be recording, like us preparing for that event, to get as much data and as much coverage of the event as possible. So, like all of the meetings, all of the work that goes behind the scenes that people don't see in preparation before people start showing up on Tuesday. That's what I'm going to be doing as far as capturing the data. So we're going to be hanging out. There is a kind of like a staff meeting or a staff dinner that we're going to be doing on Monday. So also looking forward to that. And that's the plan, to be there at latest for the staff event. But like I said, once I get there, it's, like I'm going to be already working, even though I'm going to be recording my entire trip up there. It's just going to be done with the rig, so to speak. Now, once Creator Camp gets popping off, I'm just going to be enjoying having fun, hanging out with everyone and taking in everything. But with this information lets me know that next Saturday I'm going to be on the road to do the live stream. So next Saturday I will be traveling, but with time I'm going to be, checking into the hotel as early as possible so that I can go live, and we're not going to skip a beat for episode 202. So episode 202 and 203 that's coming up will be on the road, both on the way up to Creator Camp and the next one on the way down. Actually, is it? Well, no, not on the way down, because that's part of what I was going to say. I'm going to be at the hotel at Creator Camp for 203, which would be the Saturday after that. And then I should be leaving Amesbury to start the trek back down on Monday. That would be, I believe, the 21st. So yeah, that's when we're going to start the trek back down, and, taking our time with the same thing. Plans to have 4 days to travel so that there's no real issue. I've done this because I've learned from my experience that you can get stuck in a state for 10, 12 hours and only travel about 100 miles. So being able to make up the extra mileage, or basically get there early, right, is like the plan for it. So that's the way that I have it set up. And once we have everything done, because the Creator Camp finishes Saturday, we'll also have plans for, Doc Rock's crew, the Gold crew, and everything. We're going to be hanging out as well on Sunday to also create content, right, extra for us, because we have the opportunity to all be at the same place. And then from there, Monday is when we're going to be heading back out, is when I check out of the hotel and start heading my trek back down, and taking it easy, because I'll tell you the truth, I love that quaint little town, man. I love Amesbury. There's it's just like the right amount of like fast pace, but also still very laid back. You understand? So it's such a cool place. It could be biased, and I'm not gonna take that away, right? I've had amazing experiences every single time that I've been there hanging out, and so that could be why I enjoy going there so much. But guess what? I'm gonna do it all over again, and I'm gonna add a little bit to the mystique, in just a couple of weeks. Now, another thing that I'm gonna attempt to do, and I'm saying it now because I was trying to do it before, was I'm gonna try to reach out to Rich Benoit from Rich Rebuilds YouTube channel. Like, we had met up, and I can't believe to say that it was like 2 years ago already, but now coming around, this one would be 2 years from the fact that he opened up his electrified garage over here in West Palm Beach, where I got to meet him, and he invited me to go see his shop over there in Amesbury. I did find the location for the shop in Amesbury, but I wasn't able to have the time to actually slip away to see if he was there, or get to see some of the rest of the crew of the employees and the characters that are on the channel as well. But I am gonna try, with a little extra time, to sneak that in. Now, the last thing that I'm gonna mention now is that the first thing that I'm gonna do before all of this starts is that I'm going to hop skip over the border, or the state border, from Massachusetts to New Hampshire. And over there's luckily no state tax, and it's going to allow me to save a little bit of money on my new iPhone 16 Pro Max that I'm going to buy. And that one is what I'm really excited for, because the money that I get to save, I get to just now invest on some, accessories for that as well. So I haven't gotten the new iPhone yet, because I want to go to the store and actually have them in my hand so that I can look at the colors to make my final decision. Now, as far as specs goes, once again, I'm maximizing everything. So I've had my iPhone 11 Pro Max since it came out, and I've had it because I had enough capacity in the phone to last me this long. Now, I've reached the limits where it's pretty much filled to the brim, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go now from 256, and I'm maxing out, and I'm gonna get the 1 TB, so that I have plenty of room to record internally for the ProRes and all of the features that the camera's setup has, but at the same time have enough capacity so that I might be able to hold on to that phone and not have the need to upgrade for the next couple of years. Now, there's a lot of people who are saying oh, it's not worth the upgrade, which I understand if you're coming from a 14 or a 15, but me, I'm coming from an 11, and taking that jump and being ready for the new Apple Intelligence technology that's coming out and all that stuff. I'm just excited for it, and also more excited to be recording spatial video, right? Away from my Vision Pro, right? Not having to strap the entire thing in to get that video. Now, disclaimer, the best spatial video that you'll get is from the Vision Pro, but it's a bit off-putting when I take that out in public to just do a quick recording. But I've gotten past the stigma, so I don't care. But I do see how people react to it even till today, so it's pretty funny, and it'll be easier to just be able to grab some spatial video with this new technology on the fly with my new phone. So those are the things that I'm really looking forward to. Okay, Kevin is in here saying that Delaware has no sales tax for 100% if New Hampshire doesn't work out. Thank you for that information. So that's good to know, right? And but I do think that either or. I just know if I'm saying it correctly, and you know what? Why not? I'm gonna Google this right now. If my phone will open. So what I'm Googling right now is just basically Massachusetts. And hopefully I get a map. No. Where are you taking me somewhere else? No, but yeah, okay. But the state right above it is New Hampshire. So I was right. I just didn't want to put my foot in my mouth. But yeah, and it's literally like a half an hour, and it's also the nearest Apple store. So the nearest Apple store from Amesbury requires you to go into New Hampshire and allows you to like take advantage of that. But the big thing is that I'm actually gonna be going with the 1 terabyte model. So that one's gonna, like, you're not gonna be seeing a lot of like, hey, I just got the new iPhone content, because it's really just not me. Shane is in the house. He's saying, what's cooking, man? Getting ready for Creator Camp, man. I am literally like packing and setting everything up, but at the same time, I'm planning to not take as much gear as I was thinking. Now, one thing that I wanted to talk to you guys, I'll show you guys next week, because I was expecting for it to get here today, and I wanted to show you guys and talk to you about it. But a little insider information, the best lens that I found for my Nikon camera. So let me grab it here. Oh, another second. My son is asking me for some food. He's growing bigger and he's eating so much more. So it's like I feel I feel, even though it's not true, but I feel like I'm constantly feeding this kid. But as much as he takes, I'm gonna give it to him. Here you go. Okay. So what I was saying was the best lens, and that's kind of like what I'm gonna title the video and everything that I'm gonna make for it. But the best lens for my Nikon camera is actually a Sony. So it's an adapter. Actually, the first one that I found is called a Metadapt. I was speaking to Randy about this, but the Metadapt is $250, which could be the price of an inexpensive lens for itself. But I actually found the same brand that I've been talking about, this one right here, Newer, right? And I had good luck with a lot of their products, so I never shy away from buying something from the Newer brand. And the same kind of the Metadapt adapter that they have for the Nikon cameras, they actually made one themselves. So that one was at $160, and that was almost just like a no-brainer price. So if you're thinking, hey, you know what, because this is the logic that I put into it, I was like, I would love to get a great lens for this camera, or this series of cameras that I now own, right? But first off, Nikon doesn't have a plethora of glass in front of it, right? Especially native for it. So that's kind of one of the back draws, or better said, let me correct myself, with native autofocus. So they don't have like a wide range of lenses that are built for the Z mount, right? And I wanted to start looking to see what was available, and you start going into third parties. And one of the third party things that I found was that you can get the Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens with autofocus to work with this system. And you look at it, and that's a $470 lens, and you're like, okay, that's usually the price. So you go for it and you start looking at it, and you're like, yep, it seems like you're gonna get that same quality. But what I did was that I got the adapter. I got this Metadapt / Newer branded Metadapt adapter, and what it does is that it basically takes the Nikon Z mount and converts it, if I can get this out, and converts it into the Sony E mount. And it literally takes the traces from the top and brings them down to the bottom. And it all has to do with how big and how shallow the Z mount is. Now, the Canon R mount doesn't have this ability because of the flange distance, but this being so close to the sensor allows for Metadapt to first, and now Newer, to actually create an adapter that's going to sit inside of here and just add like a millimeter or two of flange distance, and that will then almost perfectly mimic the Sony E mount. And then changing the contacts from the top and creating a controller and replacing those contacts at the bottom then effectively makes my Nikon camera, this one and the Z30, have the plethora of lenses that I already own. So what I did was that I bought this $160 adapter, and now it allows me to use all of my Sony lenses on this system. Now, exactly how well does it work? That's still up for grabs. That's what I was saying. I was hoping to see if I got my hands on it, but I believe it's going to be delivered to me either tomorrow, Sunday, or Monday, depending on the Amazon shipments. But that was like the biggest thing for me, because instead of buying another maybe $500 lens for this, I now have the ability for $160 to change my camera to adapt to all the lenses that I have. So now my Sony uh, Sigma 16 millimeter f1.4, I'll be able to just throw it right on here and get that same quality. My Sigma 30 millimeter f1.4 now sits here. My favorite lens of all time, my favorite lens, my Zeiss 55 millimeter f1.8 full frame baby, I'll be able to just throw that right on here and now get all of that creamy goodness that I get from that Zeiss lens and throw it on this retro camera and working with autofocus. So it's really cool because it's the same thing, you know, it just not saying anything, but it is the same exact thing that I did with Sony moving from Canon, right? I had the Metabones adapter, and that Metabones adapter allowed me to take all, like, the entire plethora that I had of my Canon lenses and apply that to my A6000. And for my A6000, that made all the difference in the world, because I could honestly tell you, when I put my 50 millimeter f1.4, the ultrasonic, right? When I put that lens on the Metabones and threw that on my A6000, that was the game changer for me. That was just like, I was like, this makes all the sense in the world, because I saw the potential in the A6000 camera platform, but what I didn't have was appropriate glass to maximize the camera itself, which has led me to my other slogans, which I have, saying, you know, glass before ass. Optics are always more important than the camera body, and they are. But what this did was it really unlocked the potential of the A6000, and then slowly I was able to kind of trickle and start changing all of my lenses from Canon to Sony native, so that I can get the most out of the camera bodies that I was using after the fact. But now I have the ability, and I'm gonna see exactly how it works, to basically do the same on this Nikon. Now, am I gonna be switching to Nikon? I don't think so. But as a camera junkie, I'm never gonna say no, right? It all depends on what they're doing. And for some of you also know that they also bought Red not too long ago for an nth amount, $1 billion or something like that. But they're doing good things both in the photography and video space. As you can see right up here, that's my other Nikon camera right there. That's that's the 5100 that I held on to with another one of my favorite lenses, the 35 millimeter f1.8 autofocus lens. And that setup also gives amazing results. But now having the ability to take all of my lenses, both electronic and not, like, for example, this little guy right here is my latest pickup when it comes to lenses. This is my Photosay. I was gonna say Bright Star, but that was actually the one on the Nikon. But basically the equivalent to this is a Photosay f1.6 35 millimeter full manual. So this tiny little lens, I'll then be able to throw that on here as well and start messing around with different lenses, different apertures, just everything at my disposal. Like, I have the M42 adapters, right? I'll be able to throw all my M42 glass, screw mount on there as well. So just like every lens that I have available to me, I now have available to throw onto this amazing little camera. This one and the Z30 that I have all decked out as a camera rig. So for those reasons, I'm really excited, and I think that the best lens that you can buy, hands down, for the Nikon is actually an adapter so that you can use your Sony glass. Yeah, I said it. So that's exactly where I'm at. I was hoping to get that adapter already in, but unfortunately it didn't make it here on time. I was try to get it as soon as possible. But I do order these things from Amazon, so sometimes it says 2 day shipping and it takes 3, especially when a hurricane is like devastating your state. But Sammy's also in here. Okay, let me scroll up because Jarrell's also in here. Kevin. All right, let's see. I only saw like the last 2 comments, so let's see exactly where I was at to go back to it. Oh, it's actually Sammy. Saying hi to everyone. It says, I have a bigger Cine tripod, but I'm looking to travel tripod with the Cine head. I could honestly tell you, man, I think the best thing that I did was go with the bigger tripod in carbon fiber because it weighs even less than my aluminum, like, like travel tripod, my regular one. And you're still gonna get all the benefits of the bigger tripod for your camera. Like on the cinema rigs like that you got going, I wouldn't just trust it to a lesser tripod. And this is what I was saying. Kevin was saying hi to everyone. Kevin saying, not sure if you saw my comment earlier. It looks like Central's Computers has a cable and that you're looking to Sunnyvale, Santa Clara. Oh, I think this is all California stuff. Yep. Okay, so we're going to continue. We got Jeremy in the house saying red solo cups for just... which is my glasses for memorabilia. I love it. You know it. You know what? I actually have a video on my channel of like using creative things to change like flash effects for like the on-camera flash. These like flip ups like these for like the R10 where you would just flip up. So instead of getting this direct flash, I actually have where I put a solo cup, a red and a blue one on top of them to actually get different color hues, you understand, to make it more stylistic. Instead of actually needing a filter in the front of your lens, you could actually do it by throwing a solo cup with color on top of your built-in flash, and you'd be surprised at the results that you get. It's like so you literally think that there's a piece of glass that's making everything red or blue in front of it, and it's very interesting. So solo cups for the win. And that's what he said. He was just, look, we speak typo around here. This is what I was saying. He's saying, what's up Jarrell? Hey, you guys did great on the live stream on Friday, man. Like that was straight internet lag. You understand? Besides the microphone thing, right? Once you guys knocked it out of the park. But it's always fun to see and hang out with you guys on Fridays. It's become a thing that now if I don't see a live stream at noon for me here on the East Coast on Friday, is like, yo, what's going on? Where are these guys? What are they doing? K-Wall is in the house. Say, oh no, Obs, I'm bummed. I know. I'm super bummed about Aubrey not being able to make it. Just, you see, and Paul was saying her moving date is the 17th. And that's it. Like once the moving date is like, you have to be out of there. You have to be out of the house by that time. So, the only thing is I wish I could have maybe gotten there sooner to maybe help them move. But at the same time, I'm really excited for Creator Camp. Kevin saying, hopefully the hurricane cleans up and doesn't get in your way during your travels. Yeah, I could honestly tell you, I'm not trying to be like rude or anything, but I'm not even worried about it. I've been in Miami and in Florida for so long. It's like, if it becomes a problem, we deal with the situation when it gets there. I don't overthink things, because even the previous one that created all this devastation, I believe in the Carolinas and stuff like that, it literally it went around me. It went from under Florida, it went around South Florida, went into the coast or into the Gulf, and then hit the West Coast up there. It's crazy. But I was speaking to Katie. I was like, these hurricanes know better to avoid me. That's just how it is. I've been here from 92 with Andrew. You understand? So it's just like it's gonna sound weird, but it's just gonna be Wednesday. It's like, I know there's a hurricane, but it's mostly just gonna be Wednesday, more than anything. So And Yolanda's feeling the excitement like me, saying she can't wait. Sammy says, hopefully next year the schedule cleans up for Creator Camp. Let's hope so. But you're also in school, so take care of that first because that's always most important. And this is exactly like where we were when we saw Shane coming in here and Kevin telling me about the sales tax in Delaware, but New Hampshire is safe just the same. Sammy says, I upgraded 128 gigabyte and went to a 256 that I'm running out of storage already. It was actually this R10. This R10, I was able to get it with a 1 terabyte memory card in it, and it just basically shoots infinitely, both photo and video, and just gave it like all the space in the world that I was like, you know what? I need to invest in that the same. And I mentioned it here before, but on my rig, I got a 1 terabyte, 1 TB CF Express Type A for the FX30. And it gives me over 36 or 37 hours. I think it's like 37, getting close to 38 hours of record time right there. And that's not including my 160 gig backup now, right? In case that were to fill up, that I'll be able to switch and continue recording. So that has basically, I would say, close to like 42 hours. So 2 full days, around the clock of recording there. So if we're just counting the daytime, I think I should have at least 4 days of recording, then some with this 1 terabyte. And that already makes all the difference for me because it's going to save my evenings at Creator Camp as well. I'm not going to be worried about like I need to offload all this data, even though I'm going to be doing it as far as backup goes. But like last year, like when it came to the 360 footage and stuff like that, it was taking forever to offload the data from these little micro SD cards, and then leaving the computer to upload it at night while I went to sleep, and not sure if it would have a hiccup, like if I would have to start all over again in the morning. A little rattling, but the fact that I don't have to rely on the upload, so to speak, to create the extra space in my memory card for the next day is just what already has me like night and day, like super easy, like laid back, not having to worry about where am I going to put all of this data. All right, so Kevin confirmed. This says that New Hampshire as well is good. Yeah. Actually, you know what? My AirPods Pro, I bought them there. I bought them with Doc Rock a couple of years ago. And once again, I say, like, man, I can't believe how time flies. But yeah, that was 2 years ago when the AirPods Pro 2s came out. I bought those with them at that same Apple store, and that's when I was taking them out. I was like, what? It was just weird. It was like, like the no tax it makes a huge difference when you live in Florida and you're paying 7, close to 8% tax over here, and you're like always putting that into the price, and New Hampshire makes it super easy. See, Gretchen agrees with me, Sammy, saying go with the stronger tripod. And she's also bummed that Aubrey can't make it. Yeah, we all are. She's going to be so missed. You understand? And I don't want to emphasize too much on it because she wants to be there as well. So, she knows she has to adult this October, and that she didn't have the ability to do it. So it's unfortunate, but she wants to be there just as badly as we wanted her to be there. So like trying to not add salt to the wound, so to speak. Sammy says, Creator Camp hits when my midterms for college is, so it's very interesting time. Exactly. And that's what I said, like you're taking care of school, and there'll always be time to do all of these things and bigger things. You understand? Because Creator Camp, to me, it feels like it just got twice as good as our inaugural event last year. So that's why I'm really, really like excited. Paul says he starts packing tomorrow. I'm already packed, man. Luckily that I didn't have to do a lot of packing, but I'm already like good to go. I'm making a list, and something that I spoke to Doc as well was actually to make a list of the things that you have, so that you also have a list to make sure that you don't forget anything when you're breaking things down. Oh, Paul's saying come to California. It's almost 10. Oh my goodness. If you're saying almost 10, so that's 9 point something. You understand? If you're paying 9% taxes, holy crap. Like I wouldn't buy anything unless it's got like a 10% discount. I'll be dead honest. I'll be like, nope. If I'm in California, I'm like, if it's not on sale, it's a no go. It's a no go. Kevin was saying he was just gonna say that exactly, but that's what I'm saying. So now, if you're paying an extra 10%, right, and you go somewhere and you're like, hey, I'm gonna be a hop skip over there. That's why I bit the bullet, and I didn't buy the iPhone here in Miami, and I'm gonna buy it over there. Sammy says only if we could teleport to Creator Camp. Sammy, you know what? There was a comedian that I heard talking about this. They were saying like, when we get the technology for teleportation, we're still not gonna be happy. Like we're not, and I found so much logic into that joke, because you're saying like we're gonna teleport, right, to the DMV, and we're gonna have to wait 2 seconds, and we're gonna be upset like, oh, why do I have to wait 2 seconds at the DMV? I can just teleport anywhere and then just leave instantly. So like I said, even when we get instant transmission, right, if that technology will ever show its face, then I find it hilarious that like we will find something else to complain about, because we can travel anywhere instantaneously, and then we'll still be complaining about having to wait for our Starbucks coffee or something. So I agree with that sentiment. Gretchen says she's packing all her green clothes. I wonder what group she's in. Paul saying, yep, crazy high. Hey, I read typos, sir. Crazy high. Both formats, right? California, the taxes are crazy high, and so are the people. All right. But, oh man, we're 10 minutes past the hour. Okay, so let's get through this to finish this up. It says that's why I buy from B&H with their credit card rebate. That makes so much more sense. Yeah. It goes, and the sales tax that you get and 2-day shipping. So true. So true. B&H is the GOAT. Like B&H is the only place that had the cage for my iPhone, wherever I put it. So I'm using my iPhone as a camera monitor, and it's the 11 Pro because I'm upgrading to the 16, that I'm gonna now use that as my camera monitor. Very funny, right? Humble brag. But I was actually looking for like a small rig cage, something to protect it, but so that I could also like rig it to the camera. And it's so funny, and I just want to mention this because it's almost like the stars aligned. Because if I were to have an iPhone 12 Pro Max, an iPhone 13 Pro Max, 14 Pro Max, there are no small rig cages available. There are none. Like on Amazon, on eBay, on wherever you want to look for it, it's like they do not exist. It's almost as if you bought one when the phone first came out and you rigged it out, then you have one. If not, they just do not exist. And now when you go check like the small rig cages, tilted cages for phones, you're only finding either the 15 or the 16, right? Because we're in that transition period, and it'll be shortly where you will only be able to find the 16 Pro. So throughout all of this mess, I then go on B&H, shot in the dark, and it so happens that they have the one and only small rig cage that was designed for the mobile iPhone 11 Pro Max. And from a $70 cage, because it's such an old phone and I'm now buying it in 2024, they had it on sale and they cut it for like more than half off. So I bought it from B&H for like $29, and I was like, yep, send it to me. 2-day shipping. It was here, and the rest is history. And now that's what's on my cage. So it's like I said, it's just like all the stars aligned, because if I would have had any other model iPhone, I would have been looking for another resource on how to rig it up. But nope, I so happen to have the exact phone that B&H had cases for, and the rest is history. So it's just funny, but that's exactly how, like I said, like all the stars aligned and everything just seems to check off. So Sammy says, I was going to try to come for 1 or 2 days and then realized it might be more work than it was. Yes, you've tried doing something like this before, Sammy. Remember when you were trying to take the train back and forth to the people of video conference? And, oh, excuse me. Bit of a runny nose. But yeah, that you like, if you miss a train or anything happens, you know, a misstep, a small hiccup, and then you miss a train and then you can't get back, and just play it safe. Stretch just got a green face smiling. And Sammy says he loves B&H. But we've reached the bottom of our comments for today's show, which brings up this. Oh, let's get rid of Sammy's. There we go. Cities Ga, channels that I think you should go and watch. And because there wasn't a lot of preparation, oh, let's get this going right. Let's put this where I can control it. There we go. And let's hit that button, and then we hit this button, and there's too many screens. That fixed it. There we go. Organolog, and I'm saying it correct. So this week's Cities Got is this channel that I've recently found called Organolog. Now, I wish I can tell you that I had a lot of information, but I literally found this channel this last week and I found it interesting, and now I'm bringing it here. So this week's Cities Got is Organolog. It looks like he's been creating content for just about a year. And he's got a very interesting style. He's very laid back. How if I would classify his personality, it would be lo-fi, right? Because it is just like information, super laid back, and his channel is mostly based on trying to get filmic look, right? Like that film style out of cinematography, but out of our modern, like, you know, digital cameras. As you can see this video right here in the center saying getting the ARRI look, right, from a Sony mirrorless camera. So that's kind of what the channel is based on, and I've watched a couple of his videos. The ones that I've seen was which one was it? Oh, the one that I saw recently was why Hollywood fears the FX30. All right. And then which was the one that I got me to, oh, it was that one, how to get the ARRI look. And once I saw that one on a budget, that's the second video that I saw, and I was like, okay, I'm subscribing to this guy. And as I was scrolling through my pages of content creators, I decided, you know what, let's bring him up. And he's fairly new content creator. He's just above a 1,000 subscribers. I'm just shy of 2,000 subscribers. He's been on the platform for a year, and I've been for a bit longer, but to each his own. I love creating these live streams, but this gentleman loves creating filmic looks. So I wish I had more to tell you about him, but this week's Cities Got channels that I think you should go and watch, and it's none other than Organolog. And I think another thing is that I really like the play on words. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and check out his content. And that's this week's Cities Got channels that I think you should go and watch. And we did it, guys. This has been episode 201 of the Camera Junkie live stream. And if you're wondering, 201 episodes, yes, not only is that a big feat, but it's 201 consecutive episodes, 201 consecutive weeks of the Camera Junkie live stream without skipping a beat. So If you haven't gotten the understanding, make sure to mark your calendar, set it up for the Camera Junkie live stream Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Camera Junkie YouTube channel. So I want to thank you, as always, all of you amazing camera junkies who take the time to hang out here with me and make this the place where I want to be week in and week out. You guys rock. You are the best. And I will be seeing some of you at Ecamm's Creator Camp, which is like just super, super exciting. For those who are unable to make it, we're going to miss you, right? But it's not going to take away from all of the fun, all of the memories, and the adventures that we're going to be doing in the next couple of weeks, especially me, because it's an adventure all on its own to road trip over 3,000 miles and spend basically 2 weeks on the road. And I wouldn't change it for anything because I absolutely love it. So guys, guys, take care of yourselves and each other, and I can't wait to see all of your smiling faces from somewhere on the road next week as I dial in from some undisclosed location, and we will find out together where I end up next Saturday for episode 202. So everyone, take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you next time. Talk to you.